Hello and welcome to the Kernocast, where I, Lewis Pauling, talks to people from all walks of life from across the Duchy. We are particularly focusing on Cornwall's entrepreneurs, their businesses, and how they contribute to the county. But we're not going to forget about those unsung heroes that power our community. We are here to spread the word of all these organisations so that you can get involved within your community or support that local business that you didn't know was just around the corner. So join me on a journey around the county from the comfort of your car, armchair, or wherever else you might listen. Cheers, my dears. Welcome back if you're a past listener, or Dinarg if you're a first timer to the Kernocast. I'm really pleased to have you on board. This week I am talking with a woman named Tamsin Chapman from St. Blasey, who has her own marketing company and runs a baby massage courses in various places: Bodmin, St. Blasey, St. Austell and other places. She is also, along with Amanda Young, has set up the Mid Cornwall Business Network, which I went along to a couple of weeks ago and found it really beneficial. It was really good. It's quite laid back and met a load of new people and managed to get a few business cards and people lined up interested in maybe coming on the podcast and doing some other bits and bobs. I've got a few things to mention at the end, so please hang around and check them out near the end at the end of the podcast. But for now, I don't want to keep you any longer, so please welcome Tamsin Chapman. Hello and welcome to the Kernocast with me, Lewis Pauling, and today with me I have Tamsin Chapman. Hello, all right?
Hello, all right.
Okay. Tamsin, you've just set up recently Mid Cornwall Business Network, and you also have your own marketing business, Cornish Maid Marketing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, excellent. So obviously I met you through the Mid Cornwall Business Network by I found you on Facebook and I sort of came along to, I think, your second evening, where I met, there was quite a few people there, actually. When I first walked in, there weren't so many.
There was myself and Amanda, who's my partner in the Cornwall business.
Yeah.
We were quite overwhelmed at the beginning, actually, by how many people turned up to the second meeting.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to know that you're
definitely
gathering a lot of people
and the momentum
together
so quickly. Because we've started it with nothing, we haven't got any sort of financial backing or anything for it. So we've literally started it, just the two of us, inviting our friends, they've invited their friends. And we've done a bit on some of Network Cornwall, Facebook, obviously, Twitter, emailing different people, and it obviously paid off. Yeah,
definitely. Do you think it's something where there was a gap here, like sort of more St. Austell area, where it wasn't being fulfilled by other networking groups, or...
Yeah, I mean, both me and Amanda, we've got small businesses. Mm-hmm. So some of the business shows and things that are around, they're just not we just can't afford it.
Yeah.
And some of the bigger networking groups, they are quite a lot of money for a year. And some of them can be more than what we earn.
Yes.
So we aren't the only people in that boat. We aren't the only people that are like that. And I have the extra issues with the children, things like the business breakfasts. They're always too early in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's working it around everything. So we've kind of tried to set up the network. It's £20 for a year rather than, a couple hundred. You get the first 2 meetings free, so you get to come and suss it out before we ask you for any money anyway.
Yeah.
And the £20 basically just covers the admin, because we send out a newsletter once a month as well. And obviously our timing and putting everything together.
Yeah, of course.
And then people buy their own drinks at the meeting, so that sort of takes the cost away, and we haven't had anybody complain about that at all.
Is that something, what other networks, because obviously I haven't been to any others actually so far, so I'm new into the networking scene, I suppose you could sort of call it, I suppose. Is that something that other networks offer then? Is it or have you paid for that in your membership? And
yeah, it varies. I mean, there are a few free networking ones around, but it is kind of a case of you get what you pay for.
Right, yeah.
And the others, I mean, you do get extra things included, but you are paying for that in the membership. And others do supply it. It's just we felt that supplying the tea and coffee was just going to make an extra cost for people. And not everybody wants it.
No.
You know, that we're there for 2 hours. Somebody might only be able to pop in for half an hour just to say hello, and they're not necessarily going to stop for a drink. So why should they have to pay? Yeah, of course. For it. And some people are quite happy to drink water, which, you know, even at the Cornwall, you don't have to pay for water. Yeah, I know. So it was just basically trying to make it as affordable as we possibly can. Yeah.
Well, I think it's good. I think you've, by the looks of it, you've attracted, well, the people that I spoke to was probably more smaller businesses. Like, you know, I spoke to Kerry Woodcock from Horizon, she deals in event planning, I think. Not event planning.
Finances.
Yeah, finances side of things. Obviously, Shane from the Cornwall channel, the Cornwall Business Solutions, Kirsty I spoke to, and Russell Chapman of the Cashback app. And, you know, I think, you know, it's a good variety of different businesses there and a lot of people to talk to.
There's a broad spectrum, and some of them, I mean, especially people like Shane have got a really big following. Yeah. And I mean, I've even, from myself going to the meetings, I'm going to go and meet up with Dan at some point in the future on a project that I'm working with. So it's been quite good for me to actually make that connection as well. Yeah, definitely. And I've picked up already a couple of clients of my own from the meetings, because my marketing business targets small businesses as well. So being there has helped me with that too. So, and I think the others have made a really good connections and networks as well. So hopefully we're helping other people to get together as well. Yeah, definitely. It looks like it. I think, you know, I mean, how long did you say? You've only done 2 so far, so it's like 2 or 3 months you've sort of been working at this? Yeah, we kind of said, let's do it about 3 weeks before the first meeting. Right. And that first meeting, we did have 7 or 8 people. Okay. Which really isn't too bad. No. I've been to established network meetings with less people than that at it. And then we more than doubled it for the second one. And this is it's word of mouth, social media, and just really people that we know at the moment. I've started looking into funding, whether we can get some funding, because we've started up the workshop. So we've got an SEO workshop next week if we get enough numbers to run it. So we're looking at funding to help us run that for less money, or maybe for free. They're £20 at the moment, which really isn't that expensive. No. But if we want to get some other areas and subjects that we can't cover ourselves, we might then have to pay out a bit more. Yeah. And then we don't want to be necessarily putting that cost back onto our members. We want to be able to keep trying to offer it at the £20 or less mark. It's more achievable, more affordable for the smaller business. Yeah, definitely. Is it so the workshops are you trying to run yourself? Is that what you're trying to say there? And then some other ones you want? There's 2, we've got 5 coming up, 2 that I'm running myself, 1 that Amanda's going to be running herself. And then we've got another lady that's given us a really good deal to run 2 for us as well. Oh, okay, brilliant. We have had offers, but what we're trying to avoid is people that want to come in and use it as a sales pitch. Right. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and it's the aim of the workshop is to go in there and spend that couple of hours teaching them how to not need your business. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see. I'm with you. You know, so I'm doing the SEO workshop, and what does that stand for? The search engine optimization. Oh, yeah, okay. It's a big posh word for making your website come up near the top. Basically. Yeah. So there's lots of little tricks and bits and pieces that you can use without having to pay for it to be at the top. Yeah. So we'll be spending a couple of hours going through that and what you can use, what there is out there, what's the best way of working your way to the top without that budget. And at the end of the day, that means that those people on that course are then not going to come to me afterwards to do it, because effectively I've taught them to not need me. Yeah, of course. So anybody that wants to do a workshop is going to have to kind of understand that, you don't want to pay, even if you're only paying £20 for a workshop, you don't want to be paying for somebody to give you a sales pitch.
No.
I mean, potentially, if we had 15 people on a workshop, you might find that there's still going to be a few people that are going to say, do you know what, I still don't want to do it myself. It's just not my thing, you know. I'm not tech savvy, I don't really want to know. So there is a potential that you might still get something out of it, but it's not what we're aiming for when we're hiring people to do the workshops.
Right. Oh, okay, brilliant. So the other workshops you've got coming up are data protection, will writing, email marketing and consent, and social media. Yeah. We could. One thing I would probably like to talk about really is social media. Then seems to be.
It's a necessary evil.
It is in some ways. Yeah, it's a very hot topic at the moment. It's been for a couple of years now, I suppose. How do you see social media in the sort of grand scheme of things, and how do you see it, you know, going forward in some ways?
It does seem to be. It does seem to be the future. You know, I'm always surprised by the new things that come out. Some of the things have sort of come and gone, and you hear a new social media package, and then the next minute it's gone. So you're kind of sticking with the same ones of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, that sort of thing. Most businesses, if you go on their website or their business cards or whatever, they've got at least those three on their cards. But they all work in different ways, and they all work differently for different businesses. So, like baby massage company, 90% of the bookings come through Facebook. Twitter doesn't really do anything for it. I've got a friend of mine who's an author. He gets a lot of advice and support on Twitter from other authors, so it's worthwhile doing. And then I get quite a few contacts through LinkedIn, but I get more people trying to offer me stuff than actually, you know. It does depend on your business as to what social media network is going to work for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so far with what I've done, I've kind of concentrated on sort of Facebook and Twitter for now. I figured that Instagram was going to be a challenge for me because I'm not the best with pictures for a start, and I don't think with a podcast you're not going to generate enough pictures to generate enough people to be interested in it. I think the Facebook was an easy start because it's from your general friends list. You can gain. Well, I got 100 likes on my Facebook page way before I got 100 on my Twitter. But I seem to be putting a lot more time and energy into my Twitter because at the moment, because I feel like I'm gaining a lot more leads for people to come on to my podcast, which is where my focus is at the minute, just trying to get people to come on. Yeah. And Twitter seems to be where I'm gaining the most interest, if you like, and finding it easier to contact people.
It's easier to search on Twitter.
Yeah.
I used to work for my sins for the newspaper a few years ago, and you could go in and put in the search terms, and you could lead yourself to a story from the right search term on Twitter, but it's not so easy on Facebook now. Yeah. They've changed it around quite a lot. You can't just access, when people used to put statuses up, if you put in the right keyword, you could see what somebody's status was, but it's all a lot more private now. Yeah. Whereas on Twitter, it's all open and you can get more of it. So Twitter used to be quite good at the paper because you then get a rapport with people and then they'd send you a tweet and that sort of thing. But I must admit, I don't very often use Twitter anymore.
It's funny because like on a social level, just outside of working, I used to be quite active on Twitter and Facebook. Both I've kind of gone off the boil a little bit just on privately. But for business, I have found that Twitter, so far, it seems to be, like you said, it's a bit more open. There's more people out there discussing the topics that you want to be discussing. And like you said, Facebook has gone a bit more private. You're relying on people sharing your content and passing it on to others rather than just putting it out there and people finding the word Cornwall and people coming across your stuff.
Hashtag,
yeah.
Yeah, the hashtag. James Kitto's got one, hashtag cracking.
Cracking, yeah. That's good.
Goes with his radio advert.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of It's very strange to hear James Kitto on the radio saying #Kraken, but it's a campaign that seems to be working for them. And you can search for anything that's hashtag. I always forget when I do a tweet to put the hashtag bit on the end.
Yeah.
So
I've been.
That helps it, and then you can link them in. So every time you tweet, it goes onto Facebook. So you only actually have to do one.
Yeah.
But if you tweet a lot, people get fed up with it on Facebook because every part of your conversation goes on there.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's the same with Facebook though. If you are constantly sending out spam messages to people or uploading rubbish on your page, then people will unfollow you on that as well.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. It seems to be up and down. Like you said, people almost spamming you. Like it's just constant, the same. If you're just constantly posting on Facebook, it just people just almost scan past it all the time or what have you. Whereas I suppose you kind of do the same on Twitter in some ways, unless you see something you're interested in. But
Twitter, you have to unfollow somebody though.
Yeah.
But with Facebook, you can stop a notification from a page but still be a member of that page.
Yeah.
So you've got 1,000 people on your page, but only 10 of them could be following you.
Yeah.
And actually getting your
things. Yeah.
And you've got to achieve 100 before you can look at your insights, which tell you what your reach is. And then if you share your page onto another page, that increases your reach, but it's not necessarily your target market.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all, and the advertising as well, where you can select where it's going to be.
Yeah, that's something I've looked at. I've not done it yet because, money really. But
you can do a £4 one, or £2 one.
Yeah, I've seen that. I was just trying to keep costs very low. Did you? The thing is, I think it's something that if you. What did you try with it? What did you do?
I did it with, I've got a couple of events going on. So I did it with my book, and I did it with an event I've got on in June, a baby show in June. Yeah. Just to see. And I think I only paid it was either the £2 or £4 one where it guaranteed you 700 people would look at it or something.
Right.
I think one person commented on it, but I got no extra likes or interest or anything from it. And the same with the book. There was nothing on there.
What did you put as your target then? Because you can select the area that you want to reach to, and you can also select then sort of interests and things, can't you? So I think it's a matter of. It looks to me to get the most value for your money is to literally just put in. Excuse me. All the information that you want. So, for example, for me, I was looking at doing ones for. In the search bar, in the interest bar, putting in podcasts. So anybody that is interested in podcasts, that should come up on their thing, or it should appeal to them. And then Cornwall, obviously, is my thing. So Cornish podcasts, and then I was looking at if I was talking to someone from a business background, it'd be a business. Put in the business interest. If it was sport, put in sport, and then hopefully that's narrowed it down enough so that you're really focusing in. I think that's I could see that being the idea, but obviously unless you try it, it's hard to.
It is hard to judge.
Yeah.
I get on mine because of all the baby related businesses that I'm involved in as well. I keep getting popping up as sponsored for a baby company in Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's an online thing or anything. It is literally you would have to be in Hertfordshire to do it. And I thought, well, I don't think you've done your advert very well.
No,
it keeps popping up in my feed.
Yeah. That's odd,
and I'm like, no, it's too far away.
Yeah, a little bit. A bit of a trek, that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you also, in looking at doing some sort of other events other than the workshops and stuff with this.
Yeah.
So obviously you got the business breakfast, which you sort of alluded to with other networking groups before, and then you've got some wine tasting, and you've got an idea for a business lunch and a family day at Wings Animal Sanctuary, which is a good way of thing. What's the idea of doing them then, and what's the idea with them?
It was kind of expanding out because when we first launched, we did a poll on what times of days people wanted for meetings. And the 6 to 8 time was what came up as most popular. So that's what we've stuck to with the meetings. But then other people, some people want to do things in the day. Some people want to do the breakfast in the afternoon. I mean, we're learning as we're going. I mean, we've actually cancelled the breakfast now.
Okay.
We didn't get the pickup for it that we thought we might. But when we've spoken to people, it was the venue. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the venue in itself. It's because we've launched at the Cornwall, and it's that kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word now. There's a networking group in St Blasey, and they struggle because it's in one of the clubs.
Oh right, okay.
And it's just that kind of
the vibe
feel,
you're getting from the thing, yeah.
So they've kind of said we want a breakfast, but we want it somewhere more like at the Cornwall or another hotel, somewhere like that. Something a bit more upmarket, which is strange considering we're targeting
the
small
smaller
budgets,
business,
and but we will listen to that, and we do it further on. So with the events, we're managing to get some good deals, because obviously you're booking as a group.
Yeah.
So the wine tasting, Amanda's actually organising. She has a contact up there.
Yeah.
So we've started off really utilising people we already know.
Yeah. That's a good way of starting anything, really, isn't it?
So she knows somebody up at Nightor, so we've organised that. I know the couple that have got wings, and I've always tried to support them. They're right on our doorstep. So that will be more for the families. But it's 2.5 hours where the site is solidly ours.
Right, wow.
So although it's a family day out, you are still going to be able to network, and it'd be a good opportunity to see people out of their suits.
Yeah.
And a bit more
relaxed.
Normal, a bit more relaxed. And children, when you are in business, can be, I don't know, it puts people off. So you do find yourself not mentioning the kids. And we don't want it to be like that with the network either. I mean, mainly with me, I've got the 3, which is why we make a good partnership, because I've got them and Amanda hasn't. So I understand the kids, but Amanda can step in if there's something wrong with one of mine. I see. Which does happen, like the guinea pig emergency when I came out the door just now. And these things occur. So I've got the understanding from the family side of it. And then Amanda, when we do our business show in September, Amanda's going to be there first, because I can't drop the kids off until later.
Okay, yeah.
So we cover both avenues. So having the family days is just kind of saying that, we are business focused. We really want to help you with your business. We're going to try the workshops, the different events, that sort of thing. But we also understand that you have a life.
Yeah.
Outside of that. And, it's a good opportunity to bring both worlds together. I mean, some people, you never get to meet their partner or their, there could be, relationship there as well.
Yeah, of course.
And it's just a different side to people. So the wine tasting is actually during the day. But I mean, you could bring, if your partner's not working, bring them along. We're not specifically saying it is a business network, but we're not saying you can't bring your other half with you.
Yeah.
You can't really bring the children to the wine tasting.
No.
And we're looking into a couple of places to do a business lunch as well. But the place that we had in mind originally is going to be quite costly. Right. And they're putting a lot of stipulations on us.
Okay.
And we're kind of well, we're actually bringing a lot of people to you. We should be putting the stipulations on you, not vice versa. So we're kind of looking at somewhere else. I mean, the Cornwall have been really, really good and have offered us pretty much whatever we need. They're really accommodating. So she's been fantastic. And she's popped down to both the meetings so far as well. So she's shown her support in person too.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's good. I think that's a really good idea, actually, like you said, about trying to bring sort of home life and business together. I think it's a good way of generating rapport with people rather than just talking solid about what they do in their workday life. I think, it's definitely it brings a different angle to it. I think you could probably understand some other networking groups. I'm obviously talking from lack of experience here, but it would seem a lot of them would be very business focused. What are you doing? What have you got coming up next week? What you got coming up in the next few months? How are you going to generate more money this way or that way? I could see that being probably in some of the bigger ones, maybe more expensive ones that you've mentioned, perhaps. But
we had a nice comment.
Seems a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, from the last meeting. We had a chap that came because he saw Shane's Facebook Live.
Oh, yeah.
So he dropped in because he'd seen that. So Shane had got us, just an extra person. And he'd commented that he thought it was something about it being the most relaxed networking event that he'd been to.
Oh, right, brilliant.
Because we are all very about, we've got our area in the hotel that we use, but it is all about just coming in, meeting people, having a chat. If I know who's coming, they've got a badge. If I don't know you're coming, I'll handwrite you a badge so people might be able to read what it says.
Yeah.
But just so that, because I found like with networking meetings, sometimes it is quite nice to sort of peer around and see what it says on their badge and who they're from, where they're from, to then be able to make conversation. Oh, you're such and such, what do you do? Or, some strange business names that I've seen over the time. You're like, well, what do you actually do? And it's a really good way of breaking the ice, already knowing what their name and their business is.
Yeah.
It's an easier way to approach, and I think we've tried to adopt that as well.
Yeah, I found as well, it was, everybody else that's there is happy to point you in the direction of someone else that is turned up. What's her name? Can't remember her name now. But Sharon pointed me in the direction of the Kirsty and the Cornwall Business Solutions people, and I wouldn't have known who they were, what they do or anything until she sort of said to both of us, you need to speak to that person over there today. So, I probably wouldn't have spoke to him else. I mean, when I heard that Shane was going, I was quite keen to speak to him, as we're obviously similar fields, if you like. And I was quite interested in speaking to him. Hopefully I'm going to have him on the podcast next week or a couple of weeks or whatever, and hopefully sort that out. That'd be great. But anyway, so with regards to the networking group and the meetings, how would people get hold of you if they wanted to sort of come along and join in? And
at the moment, we've got the Facebook page, which is probably our main one at the moment. We've got a Gmail address, which is midcorn, so MIDCORN business @gmail.com.
Yeah.
We did set up I did a bit of a trial and error on a freebie website. Right. But we're not really happy to promote that one, so we're going to wait until we get a proper website, which is in the pipeline at the moment. The email address or the Facebook page, or you can get hold of either of us at our businesses. So Amanda is Amanda Young Wills. And then I'm Cornish Maid Marketing. Okay. So there's a few ways to find us. Yeah, and obviously Mid Cornwall Business Network on Facebook, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, brilliant. You mentioned websites there. Something I've been looking at but haven't delved into properly. I haven't launched my own website yet. Again, just to try and keep the costs down as much as I can. Yeah. What do you look for when you're just trying to sort out a website then? Like you said, that the website you've launched already, you wasn't quite happy with. Was it? No, I because with the marketing, I tagged on the website, so I did learn about websites and that sort of thing. So I can do somebody a basic website, but I don't allude to being a website professional or anything like that. No. I can get you online. I can get you a good couple of page website that will get you a website presence, and I can help you with the SEO. And can't make you a customized HTML, HTML. I know it's from not that I don't want. It's not that I can't. I don't want to. So if you come to me and you say, I want a basic few pages, I want to get noticed, I want this, that, and the other. Yeah, fine. If you come to me and say, I want an e-commerce website that sings and dances, I'd say, meet my friend Gavin, who does that. Yeah. And it's mainly because my focus is on the marketing and the design side of it, and that's what I like to do. And I've learned the websites and things like that. But I do a lot by trial and error. Yeah. So, for example, I've used the same host for a long time, and they've been really good, but now they don't want to deal with a small person anymore. Oh, okay. So I've looked for a new host, but in the process, I've also discovered other software, other networks and things that really work. So I've not been working with responsive websites. Mine have been quite basic, but now I am working with responsive websites because I've been trialing and error and I found the software. So when I work with somebody with a website, I've just done one for Four Ways Youth Club.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A charity, not for profit. So there wasn't a lot of money involved in it. They've set up the hosting, so they regain control of the hosting. I've put them a few pages together so it'll work. It's not responsive, but they've got enough to use for funding applications, that sort of thing, which is what they were looking for. And then I'm going to see somebody tomorrow that she's going to be doing the website herself, but has kind of got a little bit overwhelmed by what they're asking. So I'm going to go and give her a sort of a kickstart. Yeah. And then she's going to do it herself.
Brilliant.
So there's lots of ways of doing it. And then, like I said, if there's something I can't do, a friend of mine has got Wallmaker Designs. He lives over the other side of he lives on the north coast now. He used to live in St Blasey. Mm-hmm. And I'd say you could go to there. But we have met actually at the network. There was another web designer there at the networking meeting, but I've not seen his work.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't say to you what, but that's something that I can do, because I'm quite happy to say I can't or I don't want to do that bit of it, but I know somebody that can. And there's going to be lots of other people like that at the networks that do it. Yeah. So websites it depends on your technical ability and your need as to whether you want a page or whether you want several pages. I mean, I've got a friend that's working on a project, and I will be doing her e-commerce site. But there won't be a time limit on that, which is quite good for me, really.
Yeah, it gives you time to practice and have a look at different things, like you said.
And we'll work on it together. So, like with the SEO workshop, there's quite a few like tricks and things that people don't tell you. I did have somebody email me the other day, and they really annoyed me, and they kept saying to me, Your Google ranking, you're not coming up in the top 10. This is not for the marketing website, it's for the baby massage website.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And in the end, I got fed up, and I sent them a message back, and I said, you know what? No, we're not in the top 10. But if you look, we're in the top 5.
Yeah.
So please stop sending me your messages. And they did.
Oh, right, that's right, yeah.
But if they know their SEO, they should have been able to realise that we were already ranking where we needed to be ranking. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they found us to spam me constantly, telling me that I wasn't ranking high enough on Google when I was. And I had one of the bigger companies phone me once without doing any research. And he was talking to me on the phone, and then he said, I'll search for your website. I was like, go on then. And it came up on the top. And he was like, well, what about this? And I'm like, well, you can't actually help me, can you? No. But like I said, that's for the baby massage one, because I do baby massage as well. Yeah.
You're quite busy then. You've got a lot going on, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you're trying to raise 3 children as well.
Yeah.
How do you manage all that?
Just don't sleep.
Just don't sleep. Yeah.
Could tell by my eyes. Don't look at the crow's feet that are appearing. No, it works for me because I work around the kids with school hours. Yeah. I work less hours during the holidays. I work evenings. Can't do that working with someone else. No. This is the whole reason that I set this up, and it's part of the reason that we're working on the business network, to make it more reachable for everybody, so that everybody's got a chance.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you. So how long ago did you start your marketing company?
4 years now.
4 years, yeah. So and before that, what were you doing before that?
Straight before that, I was working for the newspaper.
Oh yeah.
I worked there for 3 years, I think, 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
But my background before that was marketing. I've spent my life between marketing and retail management. My career history, I must admit that when working, this is my longest job, basically working for myself for 4 years, is my biggest achievement. Yeah. I've never really managed more than a couple of years in a job, so I've been quite a few different places, learnt quite a few different trades, and the only job that I would have stayed in, I got made redundant because they shut down.
Oh. Yeah, so it works out funny like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I'm really working on the marketing now, because I set up the marketing and the baby massage both at the same time, and the baby massage went through the roof. Right. So the marketing went by the side, but the baby massage is never going to make me any money.
Right.
So I need to sort of be bit more grown up now and looking more into the marketing, getting a few more clients. I've had a steady few for the last 4 years, but looking at expanding that a bit more and working with more people. And like I said, when trying to figure out how to get out there and get about, there's quite a bit of competition for things like marketing.
Yeah, I've noticed that, like just searching through for local businesses and stuff to be on the podcast. I've noticed
There's a lot.
There is a lot of marketing companies out there, all sort of, we're doing social media, we can sort your website out and stuff. And yeah, I think, does that scare you? Or no, just carry on, people?
Yeah. I mean, we went to the business show over at Weybridge the other day, and there was quite a few social media and marketing companies, but they were all separate. Like, I cover social media within it. So because I've had a broad spectrum background, I've worked for charities, I've worked for national companies, I've worked for community interest companies. So I've got I haven't just got a B2B background, I've got the B2C background as well, and I understand how things work for charities too.
That's good.
So, and I, like, instead of going to a company just for social media, you can come to me and I do social media and your marketing.
Yeah.
And I can do your website, or I can point you in the right direction. So I cover all avenues. So I do work with one of the bigger companies locally, just as a consultancy kind of thing, just a few hours here and there, just guiding them on where they need to go, and then they actually go and do it. So marketing plans, advertising plans, getting spreads in the newspaper, PR, the whole lot.
Yeah.
So a bigger company doesn't really scare me because we don't really have the same clientele.
No, yeah, I'm with you.
Somebody, that needs my help can't afford that anyway. And that's what I set out to do, really.
That's good. No, it's nice that you're happy to go for the how do I say it? Like, not going for like the big businesses and stuff. And I think there's a lot of money to be made when, and fun to be had, I think, when you don't aim for the big shots and big things and go for something that's just, almost keeps you going in some ways. I think some people think that if you start a business, you need to be making £1 million by the end of the year. And some people don't think, I just need to be able to make the £15,000-20,000 I can live, and then if you can go on and cover a bit more and make a bit more, then brilliant. That's kind of how I look at doing this, actually, myself.
Just the stress levels.
Yes.
Stress levels. I was going to say most, but actually all of my clients are really nice. And you do get things every now and again that make you a little bit stressed out, but it's not like that. It's not. I've been high flying. Yeah. And it's quite nice to be down on earth with the people that are on earth with you.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah, definitely.
And I spent a lot of time working for charities and working with different people, and I really liked that. I liked to be able to get up in the morning and go to work and know that I was actually doing something, rather than just going there and making somebody a profit.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
And I've, even with my background but without the finance, so that's a massive thing. So even with everything that I know and everything that I can do, it's still been a struggle for me to get off the ground because there's been no money.
Yes.
And that is quite a common thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And there are people and places that you can go to out there that will help, but I find at the moment it's their time. We went to somebody for support for the business network, and we're up and running and going and still waiting for them to come back to us.
Yeah.
They had our business plan and everything, and we've now actually booked the date for the business show now. Got a couple of people on board that maybe we might even, touch wood, have a couple of sponsors and things like that.
Yeah.
So we've actually already made the progress while we've been waiting for them.
Right.
And I'm not a very patient person. So like I said, it's all things we've sat down, the two of us, and looked at what we need, and realised that there's going to be a lot of other people that need the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So how can we help them, and in not being honest, help ourselves at the same time?
Of course, yeah. Why not? Yeah, I mean, don't blame me for that at all. I mean, that's, if anything, it makes perfect sense. There's no point in sort of doing something for no sort of gain in some ways, is there? You've got to get a return in some way, some ways, one way or another. Wow, so that's cool. That is, I think what you're doing is actually quite good. I'm really quite impressed. Obviously, I spoke to you a little bit at the networking thing, but I think we've covered an awful lot more. I did want to ask you. What did I want to ask you? Oh, the business show. That was what I was going to ask you about. Sorry. So the business show. What's going to go on with the business show? What's that all about?
The business show is another thing that we came up with because we can't afford the shows.
Yeah.
The business shows, you are always looking in the hundreds.
Yeah.
You know? And an idea that I did have with the networkers working together is maybe getting everybody in the business network together and doing our own stand at Royal Cornwall.
Okay.
As a group.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
But that's further down the line anyway. This is just sort of, as we've been going along and talking to people, different ideas are popping in, and we're really sort of open to people approaching us and saying, what about this? Have you thought that? And if we can do it, we'll do it. But the business show was sort of our original idea, and the networking came out of that.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So the networking wasn't our first plan.
Right.
The show was, because we were already involved loosely in a networking group out here.
Yeah.
So branching out into our own wasn't the original idea. The show was. So the idea with the business show is we've costed it. We did look at maybe trying to get funding for it. We haven't had answers yet, obviously. Yeah. Things take time. We have got the opportunity for sponsors, so that. But yeah, a sponsor's going to be on the website, on the posters, all that sort of thing. We put an example of the poster on our Facebook page that kind of says, find out how you can be here on the side of it. And obviously we'll have our own in it.
Yeah.
But there's three sections and 4 price plans for it. So for £50, and that's all included, that's not plus VAT, just 50 quid straight up, is a small business stand.
Yeah.
Which is literally going to be your pop-up and a chair kind of thing. Nothing particularly massive, but it means that you've got a presence there.
Yeah.
Then we're looking into businesses. So £200 for business, and they get obviously a table and a pop-up and a bit more space.
Right.
We're going to have business support. So we've already had the Growth Hub booked with us. So we're going to have a specific room that's got business support companies in there. So if you are looking to start a business, or you are in business and you want some guidance in the right direction, that's where you're going to go. And they're £500 a table.
Right.
And then we're also offering a sponsorship of £500 to be the sponsor. If you want to be the main sponsor, it's £2,000, because we're hoping for 4 sponsors.
Right.
So 4 £500 sponsors, or 1 £2,000 sponsor.
Right, okay, I'm with you.
And that will cover everything.
Yeah.
That we need to cover. We have just one. We said I happened to stumble across Lex Designs. I've heard of Lex Designs in St Austell anyway, on Facebook, doing a competition for a banner. So we've just won ourselves. We picked a 6-foot one where you could have anything up to an 8-foot. So we've just got ourselves a free banner for the business.
Oh, brilliant!
So that will start appearing at our events.
Oh, excellent.
So power of social media.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Free sign. They've got their little logo in the corner, obviously, so they've got their bit of publicity out of it. Because they do. Of course. I think it's quite smart, actually. If you let them put their logo on your banner, you get a discount.
Oh, okay. That's quite
Well, that
good.
makes perfect sense, really.
Yeah,
and it's
fine.
a reasonable discount as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't seen the banner yet, so I don't. It looks fine.
Oh well.
I designed it, the actual banner. They did include designing in the thing, but we didn't like what they came back with first. So I did what we'd imagined.
Right. Yeah.
Which is what I should have done in the first place, really. So that's actually ready. They've turned it over really quickly. That's ready to collect. The show it'll be at the conference centre. So we've hired the whole lot.
Where's that one?
At the top of the new road, St Austell Print.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, I know what you mean now.
Centre.
Yeah.
So there's loads of parking, and we've got both floors.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have specific areas, like the business support will be in one room, and we're going to have different areas. So I'll tell you what, trying to plan an exhibition and sizing like that, oh
Yeah.
my God. But we
Impossible.
finally worked out how many we could have in each room and on each floor.
Good.
But it means that you could go in and people like myself and Amanda and like you have got the opportunity to have a presence at what should be a big show.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I think we worked out we can have about 30, 40 stands or something.
Wow. Okay. But yeah, that is quite a lot actually, isn't it? That's good. So when's that?
14th of September.
14th of September. I have to write that down a minute.
And it's I think we've agreed on 10 till 4. So it'll be 8 o'clock set up.
Yeah.
And shut down and clear out by 6, basically.
That's all right.
And we've got a deal with them on lunch, so you can have your lunch included, lunch and a drink and a cup of tea and all that sort of thing. They lay it all on. So, but we went for the conference centre because it's got that professional look to it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and sometimes you do have to pay for that sort of thing.
Yeah, of course. But then, if you can find the sponsors and if you got enough people to,
we can go as we are. We can go now as we are.
Yeah.
The sponsors would have just meant that it would have made it that we could do everything now.
Yeah.
But obviously we will have to, as we go along and we get more bookings, then we can do more things. So we won't be able to do any big advertising until nearer the time unless we get a sponsor, but we'll still be able to do the advertising.
Yeah.
And there are a few places that I know we can still get some free stuff.
Yeah, of course. You've got to love the free stuff. It helps, doesn't it?
Business shows are great. I come back from the Weybridge one with loads of pens and things.
Oh yeah. I could always do with loads of pens. It's always helpful. I was looking at those. Obviously, a lot of them I do struggle to get to at the minute because of working. Most of them are like weekdays and so on. I mean, like we was talking this evening about going to Royal Cornwall. Royal Cornwall's great, but it's like almost like too big in some ways. But yeah, no, like it's that's interesting. I'd definitely be tempted by that. I think £50 is good value, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, we've got
just for a little table.
I can't remember it off the top of my head. We wrote down a guideline. There is like you've got to have. We might ask people to prove it, although most of the people that we already know, and we know whether they're small or large businesses, that we've got a cut off as to how much you can turn over and how many staff that you can have.
Right. Yeah.
To be qualified as a small business, but it is quite. It's not a. It's
not rigid, and but you got guidelines rather.
Yeah, because you could have a small business of one person that earns millions of pounds.
Yes, of course.
So we've had to put a limit on both just to make it fair. But around here, you know who most people are anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
And what they've got and what they can, and it is down to what they can afford, really. I mean, when we were talking to, we put our prices up actually for the businesses, because when we were talking to people, they were like, I'd pay a lot more than that. And you're like, oh, how much would you pay?
Yeah, right.
The more we can get the more we can get the bigger businesses to pay, the less the smaller businesses have to pay. So the bigger businesses are then fulfilling their social criteria.
Yes, yeah, they're
This is what it's all about.
Yeah, sharing it out. Okay, that's great. That's cool. I'm quite looking forward to that. I think that would be good. Is there anything else that you would like to mention at all, or do you think we've covered a lot of things? Oh, actually, no, sorry. There is another thing. You just mentioned about the SEO thing.
Yeah.
I would quite like to hear a little bit more about that. I don't know if you want to maybe share a couple of your secrets. I don't know if you've got any secrets or...
No, it's things have popped up as I've gone along as well.
Yeah.
I suppose, have you put yourself on Google Maps?
No.
It's completely free.
Yeah.
You put yourself on there, you make yourself a Google profile, they send you a code in the post that you type in, and there you go, you're on Google Maps. So when you're searching, Google Maps comes up quite hii.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does depend on how many people around you are doing the same business, but like with me, if you look at the baby massage performs much better than the marketing because I've put more time into that one.
Yeah.
I registered that one the other day just to see what would happen. And because of there's no immediate competition in the direct area, it comes up because the Google Maps results come up quite high up on the Google rankings.
Oh, okay.
So you've immediately put yourself quite high on the page for nothing.
Oh wow, that's good little.
So
good little
that's
tip.
one.
Yeah, but what you're saying is there's lots of little tricks and things like that you can go and look for or ask you to help with.
It used to. I remember my dad doing it when he had a band. You sit there and just press the refresh button, but it doesn't work on just views. I think they sussed that people were doing that, so it doesn't work on just views, and it is literally about keeping your website active, linking to Facebook. There is something, and I don't quite understand what it is, but if you put your website address onto your Facebook page, that helps your rankings as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's not one thing anymore; it's lots of things.
Yeah.
Or you just pay for AdWords.
Yeah,
and you're
right.
at the top.
Yeah, you're straight away.
But the search, one of the tricks is a really good one that I came up with the other week. I was searching for Pizza Hut.
Right.
We were down in Falmouth. We were hungry.
Yeah.
I wonder if Pizza Hut have got any deals on. So I searched for Pizza Hut, and in their Google in the rankings was Domino's, and I was like, "That's real clever SEO."
Yeah, that is
But
brilliant.
it's simple. Neighbourhood plan. When I did their search terms, I spelled neighbourhood in the English way,
Right.
and the way that I always accidentally spell it in the American way.
Right.
Because if I do it, other people do it. And if you think of those little things, and just like if you're doing your search terms for Kerno cast, and it's K's on both of them, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you would do that, but you'd also put in Kerno with a C, and cast with a C,
Oh, okay.
and Cornwall, and stuff like that. So the different variations of what people might put in, because they've heard you say Kerno cast, but they can't remember how it's spelled.
Yep.
So they search for it and they spell it wrong.
Right, but then you're still
come
up
up.
there, yeah. Oh right, yeah, I've seen
It's clever.
Yeah, it is. They do. Google is pretty good, really.
Yeah.
They are pretty good. All right, that's cool. That is cool. So if anyone wants to find out more about that, they can get hold of you at Tamsin at cornishmaidmarketing.co.uk.
Yeah.
Actually, would you like to talk about your baby massage at all, or? If you're interested, I know that my partner took my son to a baby massage. I think it was in Bodmin though.
It still might have been me.
It might have been. It might have been. I don't know. Possible. I think she really enjoyed it, and she said that he seemed to like it anyway. But I don't know. What's the idea behind that then?
That was a gap in the market thing that I did when I was on maternity leave, and I'd made the decision that I wasn't going back to my job.
Yeah.
And my daughter suffered really badly with colic and reflux.
Oh, yeah.
We got into a vicious circle where what you give them for colic makes the reflux worse, and what you give them for reflux makes the colic worse.
Right.
So we got in contact with a really lovely lady over at Newquay that wouldn't actually take any money. We had to sort of like force money into her hand because she literally saved our lives. And she taught us some really good techniques for tummy.
Right.
And it didn't work straight away. But when it did, it was just that sort of realisation that if you have a baby with colic, they literally scream for hours for the same time every day.
Yeah.
So we knew that we had to be ready, had our tea, had a drink, sat down by 6 o'clock, because that was when she started every single night. And it was just a few days into doing this massage techniques a couple times a day that I suddenly realised it was 7 o'clock.
Right. Oh, so it dragged it out a bit, like.
And then it was 8 o'clock, and then it was
right, that didn't happen.
Ooh. You know, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So there was a gap in the market. There wasn't a lot at that time. There wasn't a lot going on. So I looked into it. I retrained to do the baby massage, set up the baby massage, and like I said, at that time there was nobody else doing it. There was none of the free courses that there is now.
Okay.
And it shot through the roof.
Yeah.
So that kept me busy.
Oh, brilliant.
So I do a 4-week courses, St Austell, St Blaise, Bobbin, Newquay, and cover everything. So we go through colic, reflux, teething, sleeping techniques, mums with postnatal depression, because there's different forms of, because everybody thinks with postnatal depression you don't love your baby.
Yeah.
But with, like, I had it with my daughter, and I loved her too much, and you couldn't come near her because I would literally go nuts.
Yeah,
there's different variations to it, and the baby massage it because it calms you whilst it calms them, so it's really good for those sort of things as well. So I've been going for a while now. So I'm actually looking at maybe turning it into a social enterprise.
Okay.
Because I don't operate for a lot of profit. And the main focus is passing on what I learnt and what saved me to help other people.
All right, that's good.
Without sort of dissing too much the free courses that you might come across, it is, if you have a genuine issue with your baby, you do need to be very careful about where you go and who you speak to and the level of training. I mean, my training it went on for months. It was, it wasn't just a day or two that you can sometimes do now.
Yeah.
It was a lot in depth. And I actually now train other instructors as well.
Right.
So I've moved on from that. But I've actually just come back today. I teach baby yoga as well.
Oh, right. Wow.
And I've just...
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
Mum and baby yoga. I've just come back from Lanavet.
Yeah.
Got lost in the back lanes. So I've got a new venue over there. So I'll be doing baby yoga in Lanavet and in St Blaise.
Wow.
So St Blaise runs quite nicely in term times, but I'm going to be doing Lanavet as well. I don't think I would... Sometimes it gets a bit stressful because there has been a lot of competition come in and out, but having the marketing background, they have gone out again. I've just sort of kept my head down, kept going.
Yeah.
I've got a good reputation with it now. And because I have that background and I know what I'm talking and I can help as well.
Yeah.
Nothing's really sort of affected my numbers other than the roadworks in Bodmin.
Right.
That I can safely say that they have affected the numbers over there,
Have
but
they?
everywhere else, it's been fine. And the baby yoga is mum and baby yoga. So I actually...
Oh, so it's the mum and the baby are both doing sort of yoga together.
Yeah.
That's quite cute.
So it's and it looks at focusing on the bits that have got a bit damaged and stretched and worn out during pregnancy and birth and having a bit of fun with your baby as well. So it's quite nice. So I actually, not a lot of people know about it. So my son, my 9-year-old son, put me together a video for YouTube, but it's just kind of a collection of photos.
Right.
Just so that I can kind of say, this is what you do, have a look. And there's a dad on there.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
Yeah. And lady with her twins. So
oh, wow.
It's all quite varied as to what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so you've started that up now, have you? The yoga site? The
yoga's been going in St Blaise for quite a while now.
Right.
So I got actually invited to look at a venue in Lanavet that they want me to do it out there.
Okay.
So I normally have a 3-week rule before I start a new class. It just gives me enough time to get things going.
Right.
But it keeps me in shape.
Yeah. So how do people find the details for that then?
It's Cornwall Baby Massage.
Yeah.
.co.uk.
Oh, simple.
Yeah.
CornwallBabyMassage.co.uk. That's cool. And you run the courses over 4-week periods.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's not a consistent, but you run it as and when sort of thing.
Well, the baby massage, they're 4-week courses, and they generally sort of at each venue is every other month. So
right.
St Austell is starting on the 8th of May.
Okay.
The next Bodmin one I've got is in June. I think off the top of my head, I think St Blaise is June as well. I've got a colic workshop, which is just like a one-off one, specifically on colic and reflux in Liscard next week. It's the 27th. And then the yoga is every Monday at St Blaise.
Yeah.
It's always on in term time, and then I do the holidays subject to numbers.
Right.
Although I'm on holiday next Monday.
Okay.
So I have, but actually through the Easter holidays, we have run that class, apart from the bank holidays, because they've asked me to.
Yeah.
Lanavet will just be term time because the venue's only open term time.
Okay.
So
what night will Lanavet be, or have you
Friday afternoons?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So St Blaise is Monday afternoons and Lanavet's Friday afternoons. So if you did both, it's quite a good space out, really.
Yeah.
It is. It works out as £5 a session, but it's a block. So the May block is 3 weeks. That's £15.
Right.
June is a 4-week block, so it's £20.
Yeah.
You can kind of see where I'm going.
Yeah,
I think July, but it works around the school holidays, and then the school holidays are a pay by week. So you pay the week before for the next week.
Okay. Cool. Brilliant. That's excellent. I'm quite impressed with how much you do. I didn't know you had so much going on. That's great.
It's a strange. I used to have double-barreled business cards with the massage on one side and the marketing on the other, but no, I have moved away from that now. But the massage is still my way of being around the mums, and I can take my kids and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. How old's your How old are your children?
9, 4 and 2.
Oh,
so
wow.
we got our school letter yesterday.
Oh, right.
Yesterday. No, I didn't cry. Nearly, but I didn't cry.
Was that what for the 4-year-old to go to school?
Yeah,
Is
to
it?
go to
Yeah.
school in September.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
emotional.
Yeah, I'm sure. Flipping hell. That's great. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm still a little way off that, but I'm sure it will soon turn up.
I'm not letting the youngest one grow up.
Not allowed. Stay as you are.
Yeah. You're not getting out of your cot. Stop trying to climb out of it. You're still a baby. Stay put. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd get on well with my partner. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for coming on. No problem. Obviously, we've mentioned everywhere you go. So, what is it? CornwallBabyMassage.co.uk. It is Cornish, www.cornishmaidmarketing.co.uk, and also the Mid Cornwall Business Network on Facebook.
Yeah, but the Maid is spelled M-A-I-D, not M-A-D.
Ah, yes, Cornish
As
Maid.
in Cornish Maid. I'm
Yeah.
a Cornish Maid.
Cornish Maid.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you very much, Tamsin, once again, and I'll be seeing you probably next month at the
May the 4th.
network.
May the 4th
May
be
the 4th
with you.
would be with
Yeah,
you.
Sorry, that's going to be part of the advertising for the next. It can't be anything else. Same day as the elections, local elections.
So I might be a bit late. We have to go and do have to elect someone.
You can do it there or on the way back.
Yeah, on the way back maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks again.
No worries.
And to all you listeners, we'll be checking in next week. All the best. Cheers and gone. So, I hope you all enjoyed that. I think it was quite entertaining once we got going. I think the first sort of 20 minutes was a bit on the slower side, trying to get our bearings and that, but I think it was entertaining and informational. I hope you got a lot from it. I'm still sometimes losing my track a little bit and stuttering, but I'm getting there slowly. I think the last episode I'd done with Mike, I was a bit better at that. I kept it flowing, but it was something I really knew quite a lot about, so it was a little bit easier. Okay, so I mentioned at the start that I've got a few things I'd like to bring up. The first thing is, sorry it's not been on the Wednesday for the last couple of weeks. It's I've had the interviews or the podcasts recordings lined up for different days later on in the week. So I've recorded them and released them the next morning just to keep it fresh rather than listening to me for 10, 15, 20 minutes just to get something out there. I figured you'd prefer listening to someone else. Second, I am currently averaging 86 listens across YouTube and sort of iTunes and Stitcher, which I'm quite pleased about across all the episodes that I've done. Excluding the bonus episode I done and the introduction series that was out. So what's that? Nine episodes, I think, which ain't too bad. I'm quite pleased with. If you are interested in getting to those 86 people that are listening, and you want to be on the podcast and discuss with me your business or your community event, or you're a local MP or local councillor that you'd like to come on and pledge to the people why they should get your vote, then it's totally free to be on the podcast. I think it's important to mention that. It don't cost you anything to be on. The way I see it is that eventually, hopefully, I can get some sponsorship, and that's where I can gain my revenue, rather than people paying to be on the podcast and promote themselves and their business. I think that's the best way to do it. I think, again, it's really good value for money for the people that want to be on. And you can really get a lot out of it and talk to a lot of people properly, rather than that just, a quick advert somewhere. But then I do want to offer that as well. Well, I'm going to need to be honest, to keep this, to be able to make this sustainable and keep it going. So sponsorship wise, once I get to 100 listens per on average, then across both platforms, downloads and YouTube, I would be looking at charging £2, a whole £2 for a 30-second ad at the start and at the end of each show, which would be me reading something that you've put together, or me checking something out and putting something together myself. Up to you. But £2 is pretty good value, isn't it? But then obviously, if my average goes up to 200 listens, then it would be £4 per advert. So, it can be specific. So if you're a business and you're looking to gain more business to business customers, then maybe you want to be advertising on a show like this one, which is about business. If you're looking to advertise to local people, then maybe you'd be looking to go on more of on the last episode I did with Landlive FC, or if you're like a sports company or whatever, then that might be one bit more specific to you. If you're interested in that, then please get hold of me and I can give you a link I can inform you of the people that I'm going to be having on and what sort of field they're going to be in, and whether you'd be interested in sponsoring the show. Also, I'm going to be offering on YouTube only for each on YouTube only, £1 buys you a 30-second sort of picture advert, which would then be on repeat. So if I've got 5 people advertising, each one of those would be on a 30-second picture on the video. So it'd do 30 seconds of the Cornocast, 30 seconds of St. Blaise Football Club's next game or whatever, 30 seconds of so-and-so limited, and they're offering this at the moment, 30 seconds of something else, 30 seconds of something else, and then that would repeat consistently through the whole show. So the likelihood of someone seeing your advert is probably quite high. They flick on YouTube, go to and fro it, and sit there, and it'll be on in the background or whatever. They might see it. So I think £1 is reasonable value, considering the shows are like an hour long. So that's £1 per 100 views on average, and then £2 per 200 views. So yeah, I think there'd be good value for money there. If any of this is of interest to you, then please, you can find me find the Cornocast on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Cornocast, and cast is with a K. Okay, just to remind you of that. Facebook, Twitter, or you can email me. The email address is cornocast@gmail.com. Okay, so yeah, please sort of get hold of me if possible, if any of this is interesting to you at all. If you want to be on the podcast, if you want to sponsor the podcast, yeah, there we go. Time for me to leave you to it. Thank you very much once again for listening to my little podcast and the people on it, and all the very best to you. Cheers and go on.